Hello everybody, we are here with Shelley Thornton for a tour of her solo exhibition. Hi Shelley.
Hi Rachel.
Hi, so we're all very excited. We are standing outside of your gallery right now. What is happening here in the window, Shelley?
Well, here's the title for my
Yes, it looks
exhibition,
so good.
and this is the hallway window where I just put a little teaser for the exhibit. Obviously there's no dolls here, but I just gathered up a bunch of interesting junk from my studio
Yes.
to give people an impression of what goes on in there. So
much fun. So
yeah.
very you in this paper doll.
Fabrics in a big pile mess.
Oh
you know,
yes,
and,
totally.
Embroidery floss in my sketchbook and paper doll, buttons. I love buttons.
The conventioneers are definitely going to identify with this situation happening here in this window. And also, you guys, just a little hint, you might be seeing that paper doll a little bit later. I don't know. So, Shelley, this is incredible. Now, you have never done a solo exhibition before.
Well, this is my first one in a long artistic career, so I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to show here at this beautiful textiles gallery. So,
yes, it's
textiles
gorgeous.
Are my heart and the heart of my work. So
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we're going to come on in. So this is exciting because you've never had a solo exhibition, and also you've never had so many dolls in one place. Did you have to borrow some of these from your customers?
Yeah, and there are 11 of my current type of dolls, cloth dolls, and then a couple of, well, you'll see.
Yes, we're going to see
early art dolls.
So now we are just stepping inside the gallery, and you are immediately greeted with this wonderful graphic here that talks about the dolls, Shelley, and how you make them. But we're going to hear that firsthand from you as we look at the dolls. Shelley, who is this person standing right here?
This is my self-portrait. It's all textile, front and back. She's wearing an actual dress that I wore for decades that I made.
Oh, it's an actual dress.
Yeah,
I love
it's an
that.
Actual dress, so that's why
cool.
she's life-size.
I love it. That is so neat. And you've been working for months on this. I love it. And look, she's sewing.
So, yeah, she has embroidered face just like my dolls, and she's called self-portrait as a Dollmaker, so she's working on a little dress, and yeah.
She's fabulous.
Thank you.
She is wonderful and so much fun for your exhibition. I'm definitely going to get a picture with her before we leave. She is wonderful with both of you. Right when we walk in, you turn the corner right over here, and there is a plaque here with some information about your life and your biography and some pictures that mean a lot to you. So it's important for everybody to know that you were born here in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah, all but about 4 years of my life I've lived here in Lincoln. So I was born here, raised here, went to school here at the University of Nebraska where this gallery is, and except I was in the art department. This is the textile merchandising and fashion design department we're in right now, but I was an art major, printmaking major, and then I was an illustrator for 20 years before I started making dolls. So I've been a lifelong artist, and
yes, we love it.
Love what I do even more than anything else.
More than anything. I love this picture right here. And what did you tell me about this little picture of you?
Well, this picture is, if you'll notice my hairdo in this baby picture, I think this is probably the first moment that I realized that hair should stick straight up.
It sticks straight up. I love it.
Kind of stuck with me if you are aware of my doll style.
Oh yes, we are obsessed with the hair on your dolls. It is your signature. It's your one of your signature. Besides the fabric, combining the hair has got to be a huge signature of your work, I would say.
Yeah, it is. I don't think anybody actually does it exactly the way I do. So.
No, but you do teach at the NIATA conferences so people can figure out their own techniques and styles.
Yeah, I teach quite often at NIATA.
Yes. So this is a really sweet picture right here. At first I thought it was Madame Alexander, but this is my grandmother.
Yeah, and she's showing these beautiful doll clothes that she made for my sister and I. She was a wonderful seamstress, and she really was a big influence on me, both artistically and with her crafts. So she was also a painter, and she bought me oil paints when I was 10 years old and got me painting. And so she was always really supportive of me making art. And so
Yes.
I remember the beautiful doll clothes that she used to make for us, and just really loved all that
Absolutely.
activity.
It's so perfect for your solo exhibition to be showing the earlier people that inspired you and how it all started. So, yes.
Yeah, if you turn around and look at
There are some woodens.
here, there are some wooden dolls, and these were actually my very first art dolls that I made as an adult. I made dolls when I was a kid, but these are what I might say are my first serious art dolls, and they were made in a period of time when I was making wooden toys. So these are all made out of wood with drawings, watercolor and pencil drawings, glued on and then laminated with polyurethane. So this one is has different feelings. So her head.
Oh my gosh, I love her.
People that
that's
normal people
surprising.
that come to the gallery can't touch them, so you're getting to see stuff that
Yes.
most people that come to see the show aren't going to see. So anyway, that's her sad face.
Oh, she's so cool.
So
Oh, how neat. And so these are your earlier work, and they are
this
so...
is my, yeah, I made these in 1976 when I was 26 years old. So
And you sold them?
no, I still own these actually.
No, you sold them in this picture. The picture over there on the wall shows... I love this picture.
Yeah.
Was this... You were selling these right at a craft show?
We sold ones. Now these are more edition toys. These are printed drawings. So I made pencil drawings, and then we printed them on paper that was kind of the color of pine, you know, and then we made all these. And I was working with my partner, Rodney Lamberson, who's was really good at woodworking, and we made all these toys. And this is one of our toy booths at the Plaza, Kansas City Plaza Art Fair one year. So
It's fantastic. So the lighting is on and off in here, so thanks for bearing with us, guys, because there are spotlights up top. But one thing that I think we should explain, because as we go through your show, Shelley, they're going to see what's happening in the background.
yeah.
What's going on back there?
Well, this is an animation that I made when I was 8 years old, and somebody asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I always said I wanted to be an animator because I loved to draw and I loved cartoons, and I knew what the connection was. I knew that there were people who did that for a living, who made drawings move, and I was always fascinated with that. And when I was in college, I did make a few small bits of cell animation, traditional cell animation on film, and so I learned a lot about it in that period of time. But then I went on to different things, and I was an illustrator for over 20 years, and then I started making dolls about 25 years ago. So I kind of got busy with other endeavors. But then when Michael gave me this show and told me about their amazing double projector system.
So cool.
This is pretty rare in a small gallery to have this kind of a great system. It projects two seamed images on a 30-foot wide wall. So when he told me that I could use that for any kind of video I wanted to make, I thought, well, I have to make an animation.
Oh, for sure.
So, but I'd never made any digital animation, so I had to learn all the software from the ground up.
Oh,
so
man, it is
was
amazing.
A true test.
Oh, I'm sure.
Brain,
I'm sure. And I'm sure it was very emotional after all your hard work to see this play on this wall with all of your dolls surrounding it in this room.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to see it, but that's what's playing in the background, everybody, is Shelley's wonderful animation. So can we look at dolls?
Yes, we can.
All right. So this one right here, Shelley, is one that you finished most recently. Is that right?
Yeah, just
we're going to stay out of it so we don't get
before the show went up. So her name is Lulu, and she is wearing an apron that is all about the nursery rhyme, hey diddle diddle, cat in the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. And if you come around to the back, Rachel, you can see the cow that jumped over the moon.
Oh, so look at that, everybody.
It's all there. Here's the little dog laughing. And here's the dish ran away with the spoon over on this side. So this is a nursery drapery fabric from, I'm guessing it's from the 30s or 40s, and which is about my favorite period in fabric, actually. And this is curtain fabric, nursery curtain fabric, so it's substantial weight, and the pictures were actually fairly far spaced, and so I had to fussy cut the pictures out and construct them into an apron where everything could be visible.
Now I'm gonna go up so you guys can see the pantaloons here.
Yeah, she's
and
got,
oh man,
and
look at the
lined.
look at the
this,
of course.
This has
look at the lining
nice,
here.
Yeah, lining I love. So yeah, everything's lined.
Look at that.
You got to get in more patterns. You know, just the ones you see aren't enough. So you got.
You know, but this is what we love. This is why we're here.
Other opportunities
it's the best.
for different fabrics.
Oh,
so.
It's the absolute best. And Shelley, I asked you earlier, you must have sources from online all over the world, and you buy them in person, your fabrics.
Pretty much. I've only bought a couple of things online because you can't trust the colors that you see, and you can't feel it, you can't tell what quality it is. So yeah, I source fabric every place I go. Basically, I try to shop for fabric and add to my massive, overwhelming collection. So
Heck yes.
I know a lot of you out there sympathize with that. It's like, okay, I need to build on an addition just full of drawers and closets to, house my fabric
yes.
collection. But that hasn't happened
No,
yet.
she's wonderful. So on average, what is the average height?
Like about 28 inches now. You can tell with the earlier ones, they're shorter, so they've kind of grown a little bit over time as my techniques have changed a little bit. This one's back a little smaller than some of the other current ones. This is the current one that's taller, but they're generally, around 28 inches.
I asked you if you did minis because we love minis, and you said you work better in larger scale.
Yeah, it's very hard for me to do miniature work. It's just not comfortable for me and harder for me. It's harder for me actually, and also the big reason why I do these large dolls is because you could never use this kind of fabric on a smaller doll with the big prints and the big images, which I love, and the heavier weights. I like the heavier weight and texture of even a lot of upholstery fabrics that I use, and I just couldn't make the clothes if they were much smaller with that kind of fabric. So.
Right. So as each doll manifests, do you design how it's going to look over a certain piece of fabric, or does it just kind of introduce itself as you go?
I have a pretty solid plan when I start, and I've decided on the fabrics that I want to use. Almost all of the dolls are inspired by a particular fabric usually, or sometimes a combination of fabrics, but usually there's this one fabric, and a lot of times it's a recent acquisition and I'm just in love with it, and it's just I'm passionate about it and very inspired by it. So a lot of times that's the beginning of a doll design, and then I search for things that will complement that fabric and go along with the idea I have in my head. So
I love it, because some artists they don't have a plan, they just kind of let it go as it unfolds, but you will have a catalyst and then build around that. I love that. And
then the person actually is designed to go with the fabric, not the other way around. I mean, as humans, we buy clothes that look good on us because of our coloring and our personality and stuff, but it goes the opposite way with my dolls. It's about the outfit, and then, okay, who would be wearing this?
I love it.
What color are her eyes, and stuff like that. So it's a backwards process.
Absolutely. We're just relishing in the wonderful...
So this is I was going to say, this is the oldest doll in
here?
The exhibit. Yeah. This is the newest one, and this is the oldest one. So.
How old is this one?
Let me get my sheet. I can't remember the years right off the top of my head, but this one is...
I know you guys can see it really well right here. They have spotlights on the dolls, so the lighting is a little strange, but I'm trying my best to keep out of the shadows and so that you guys can see.
She's from 1994.
94, okay.
Yeah, Hildy from 1995.
And she's a milkmaid, or she's gathering eggs?
She's a farm girl. girl.
She's a farm girl,
which we have a lot of here in Nebraska, and
yes,
she's gathering
look at
eggs.
her lined
so
outfit.
I have one of my best friends here was the head of the ceramics department at this time when I made her, and so she helped me fire these little eggs.
Oh,
and,
so sweet! It looks
yeah,
real.
here's
Oh, she's got
here.
one in her pocket.
Yeah, right.
So much fun. So much fun. Look at that. Oh, there's the pantaloons. They're just fabulous.
They all have rings. I'm in love with buttons, and especially antique buttons, and so I decided that I would make a button into a ring for each doll. So
Every doll has a ring.
Yeah, they all have rings. So, and I try to also make them significant for the outfit as well. This one reminded me of a little moon, and matches her white buttons on the black cap too. So.
We are absolutely captivated by your work. It's just incredible. This doll we have had so many comments on, so many stories. It's the cow that jumped over the moon doll.
Yeah, so this is the first one of that theme. This newest one is a revisiting of that theme with as you see, a totally different fabric, but this is also an antique nursery curtain fabric that my friend E.J. Taylor got me in London at the flea market in London, and it's obviously quite a bit older. I'm guessing this one would be from the 1890s to 1900, about in that range. So when he found this fabric for me, of course I had to make a doll around this theme, and this has always been one of my favorite nursery rhymes anyway.
Yes.
So it didn't take me long to figure out what I wanted to do. So anyway, this is Bess, and she's from 1999, and she's obviously up in the night sky here, and she's the cow that jumped over the moon. So she's got this little tail on her costume.
I know, it is just,
and she's out
fabulous.
collecting little stars from the sky into her little pocket, which is shaped like an udder because she's the cow, and then she's holding the moon. So that's her, and whereas she's the cow, then I thought of this one more as the cat. So
oh, it's so much
she's
fun.
a little bit feline.
It must be fun when you're making them to also be thinking about their stories and what they're doing and just the adventures that they have.
Yeah, I mean, some of them have sort of stronger themes and stories, and other ones are just about the textiles.
Yes.
It's like, I have to put this beautiful piece of textiles out in front of people's eyes,
Right.
That's a big motivation for me. And that's the whole motivation for me to make this crazy quilt, because I've always been interested in quilts, and I've made a couple of just functional quilts in my life, but I always wanted to make an embroidered crazy quilt. And so the motivation for this was, I've got to get all these wonderful fabrics in my drawers out in front of people's eyes,
Yes.
in my eyes, so I can see, so I can enjoy them. So I just pulled out a lot of my favorite things and put them into a crazy quilt.
The quilt's amazing, and I love, is that your hand down there?
Yes, that's my hand. That's what I call the signature block. And then all these applique things I designed, of course, and then the embroidered pictures are antique things that I had collected. The little boy fishing and the animals and this cat, those are antique embroidered pieces that I've collected, but the applique is all stuff that I designed. And then, of course, I had to embroider all the edges of all the pieces like in traditional crazy quilts. So
It's so fabulous. And what a wonderful thing to have on the wall, because you can't put dolls on the walls, and you had all this space, so you had to put something there.
I didn't want the walls to just be all blank, so thus came the quilt
Yes.
and the animations.
Okay, and so this next doll, this is why we're here, Shelley, because this doll I saw at the NIATA conference in Pacific Grove, California.
Right.
And she is absolutely amazing. I never forgot her.
Thank you. This is Jean.
Jean is fabulous. So first of all, let's talk about the dress and the shirt underneath. This is how I got into being fascinated with your combining of fabrics. Look at this. Oh, and this is good. This shows us a little. This shows us the jointing.
Yeah, she's got wooden ball joints and knees, wrists, elbows, and shoulders that go both ways. So they're all movable. They sit on a metal saddle stand, so they're not rigid. They don't have an armature inside like a lot of cloth dolls do.
Yes, she's just magnificent, and she has a bird that's up top. Is the bird building a nest?
Oh no, the bird thinks that that's
Oh, he's
a worm.
pulling. Oh, the worm is her in her hair tie. Oh, it's so great. So this doll is just phenomenal. You worked on this one a lot. This was your showcase doll on gallery night at the NIATA conference,
right.
which is coming up again this year.
Yeah, we're going to be in Kansas City in July, the middle of July. So
Which is going to be wonderful.
looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yes. So this girl right here, we have seen in the magazines and in pictures.
This is Adriana.
Hi, Adriana. This one is wonderful because she really showcases your use of how you do the hair.
Yeah, she's got some pretty massive hair, and the person that I made this for had a daughter with big red hair, curly red hair, and I thought, she's gonna like it if I make big red hair, so that's how that came about. But she's got several pieces of hair on her.
She is just incredible. And it is so nice that your customers have given you the dolls back so that you can use them in your exhibition, because you don't have a ton of dolls.
People loaned me their precious collected
Absolutely.
dolls. Yeah, so I'm very
Look at
grateful
that,
for
everybody. Trying to get it so you can really see the...
And she's the one that's featured in the animation that you'll see on the wall.
So she's obviously one of your very favorites.
She is. She's, not very old. She's recent, and I really like her a lot.
You have customers and people, and you have waiting lists, Shelley, for your work.
Yeah.
Because you're not churning them out every couple days.
I'm not churning them out. No, I make one or two a year still at this point in time. I kind of have a busy life, it seems, but
yes, just phenomenal. Yeah, she is. Seeing her stand here with your animation in the background, it's just so cool. We'll just stand here for a second, everybody, because you're going to see this animation, but that's Shelley's purple house.
Yeah.
And then she has birds flying, and then you can see a doll in the window, and look, the door just opened. And then when you go inside, there she is.
Coming to life.
Isn't that so cool? What do you guys think out there in the convention? Isn't this the coolest thing ever? Check this out.
This is a fanciful rendition of my studio. It's not
Hey,
actual reality, but
hey, we were just there. It looks a lot like I remember it when I saw it in person this morning. So neat.
And there's Jean right over there.
Oh, there's
In
Jean.
flower
Jean's the one with the
Yes.
bird on the top of her head, everybody. There she is hanging out over there. Oh, how neat. There she is. There's her flower.
And this is Remy. She's the little girl in the window
Oh, hi, Remy.
in the animation. Yes.
I just got a bulldog named Remy. So
Oh,
Remy's
wow.
a great name.
It's one of my favorite names. Yes.
Look at that. Oh, I just love it. We're gonna peek underneath so you guys can see some of these fabrics, and you can see her legs.
She's got a little.
You do such great work, and each one has a stand that also has some whimsical elements as well. Like for instance, this stand right here has the grass coming out of it.
Yeah.
It's just so neat. There is so much motion in your dolls and in the hair. What are some of the comments that you get from a lot of people more
Well,
regularly?
People people love the hair, and they usually ask, how did you come up with this
Sure.
idea, you know?
Well, how did you come up with that idea, your signature
Well,
stuffed hair?
I can tell you that. I was a member of a doll club here locally called the Dollmakers, and I drew a logo for our club, and it had an obviously kind of crazed person with all kinds of crazy hair things sticking out, with, you know, different implements and buttons and stuff stuck in her hair, and you know, kind of wild eyes and fabric and doll parts, you know, that kind of thing. And so when I first started making original dolls, I thought I need to make the Dollmakers. So then there was the question, how do I make that hair with it all sticking out and with things attached in it? And I just put my, you know, mind to it and decided, well, I think I can make it with stuffed cloth. And when I first showed that doll, everybody loved it so much and it was so unique among a big show I went with all cloth dolls. It was so unique that I thought, well, I guess this is what I do.
This is what you do. And it's so refreshing, because a lot of times with wigs on dolls, I've said this before, wigs can be drama, because you've got all the hair and you have to style it.
Well, and I'm kind of a control freak, so with this kind of hair, you can't comb it wrong. You know, the person who owns the doll can't mess it up or comb it wrong or whatever.
That's exactly how you want it. But that's what we love about it.
I also really like to maintain the integrity of the textile medium. So the fact that everything is cloth, the stand cover, the whole doll, and the hair and the bows are usually stuffed cloth. And I started making stuffed cloth collars. You know, it makes the whole piece.
It just makes it. It's very you. It makes it. It's just so distinctive. We're gonna get up so you guys can just see that. It's like a quilt. I mean, it's just,
consistent. It makes the whole piece more consistent.
More consistent. And each one is just so unique. Have you ever reproduced a doll twice?
No.
Never.
No. Boring.
Boring. I love that. Look at that hair, everybody. I'm getting down so you guys can see that. That is so cool, Shelley.
That one's got a lot of pieces too. Some of them have 2 pieces. Some of them have, 16 pieces. So it just depends on what effect that I'm looking for.
Look at that. Yeah, does she have a special?
This is Jody.
There's Jody, and there's wonderful
Jody is
lining.
a special doll because she has seasonal outfits. Some of the clothes on the wall over there belong to her. She's the only doll I've made with completely removable and changeable clothes. So this is her spring outfit, and she's also one of only 2 dolls that I've made with bare feet, so you can actually
take her shoes off.
On.
Okay, so that's another thing I didn't know, is that the shoes and clothes usually are sewn on.
Yeah, they're sewn on, and the feet or the shoes and boots are stuffed boots and stuffed shoes and socks. They're not actual bare feet under there. So that's just the way that I find it best to make them. This is Alma. She's unique in the fact that I first learned to make this page boy hairdo, which I had always wanted to make, but I couldn't figure out how to do it the way I make hair. So I took a amazing class from an artist named Sarah Wagner, and she taught us how to make these very complex forms and make patterns for these very complex forms in cloth. And it was a brilliant class. I learned what to do, and I went home and I made this pattern. This is I think there's 14 pattern pieces in this hair structure, but it's just made into one piece, which is not how I usually do things. I usually make each clump by itself, and sew it on. But this hair is just one piece, but it's very complex. You'll see all the seams. There are actually, like I said, I think 14 pattern pieces in that hair. But I went into it with perfect confidence after Sarah taught us how to
Oh, isn't
make
that
these
nice?
3D patterns. Yeah, it was amazing.
I love her little wristlet right there, her little bracelet,
Yeah, a little wrist corsage.
her corsage,
Yeah.
and the wonderful shoes. She is just phenomenal. We've seen her again in the photos, but it is nothing like seeing them in real life.
I think she's on my Facebook.
Is she on your
page.
Facebook page? Okay. Knew we had seen her somewhere. So this doll right here, I'm just referring back because she has it's kind of the same page boy,
Yeah,
but not.
see, this is before Alma, and so
Okay.
this is about the only way I could figure out to do it with the pieces, like
Uh-huh.
I made them. So this is kind of a unique hairstyle also, but it didn't quite match, you know.
It wasn't
'cause
exactly- you wanted the bob.
I wanted the bangs
Uh-huh.
and the shape like Alma has.
Exactly.
And so this is a lesson. Keep on learning.
Yes.
Keep on going to workshops, because even really experienced doll makers can always learn new tricks.
Hey,
So-
it's important for us to know that Shelley Thornton didn't know how to do something, and she took a class and she figured it out.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. It is. It's really important because we look at artists and we just think that you don't stumble.
That we were
and you,
born with all this
Yes,
ability.
that you
No,
just- yeah,
no.
it just-
It's hard work.
Yes.
And lots of education.
And
And
lot-
trial and error.
Yes.
Yeah.
And who are some of the people that have been most influential or helpful to you in your career?
Well, when I first started out being interested in making dolls, I was really looking at other cloth doll makers like Akira Blunt and Lisa Lichtenfels were two of my idols when I first started. And E.J. Taylor helped me a lot when I was first starting out and encouraged me. So, I mean, there are so many people that I really admire that I've met over the years, and you know, some of my favorite Niata artists, you know, are people like, I don't know, I don't want to name names and leave everybody out that I don't mention
And it's hard.
right now,
We're
but
putting you on the
know,
spot. I didn't tell you I was going to
Yeah.
ask that question. It is
Yeah.
hard. But no, there are a lot of people out there who have been so helpful, especially in Niata, and
Yeah,
just
for sure.
work you admire and people that you maybe haven't
Yeah.
even seen.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about coming to Niata every year is that you see people's new work and see how they're growing and just be inspired all over again by their expressions and their work. I just love going to see the work of my colleagues. It's really a big highlight of my year, and it pushes, I think all of us feel this way, it pushes us forward to try even harder, you know,
Right.
to improve our work all the time. So
Because you were
it's
telling
great.
me earlier, sometimes you just feel like you're out on an island by yourself.
Yeah, when you're just a studio artist, I shouldn't say just, when you're a studio artist, it's very lonely sometimes, and you don't get a lot of feedback, and you aren't influenced by other things you see that much because you're just at home working by yourself. And so that's why it's really great to be in an organization like Niata, because you have peers and you have colleagues, and
Yes.
you get to see other work up close in real life, and it's very instructional and inspirational.
Oh, absolutely. One of the things that I noticed when I was at the Niata conference is that I would say, how did you do this? Or what made you think of this?
Yeah.
Or whatever. And they would tell me. It wasn't like,
people are very
this is my
generous
secret.
yeah, people are very generous in sharing their secrets and their tricks.
Uh-huh.
It's very unlike some of the other art organizations that I've come in contact with, where people are closely guarding all
Right.
of their secrets. The doll makers they just want to help people to do
Exactly.
what they need to do, and it's really great.
well, and they understand that you're going to be able to pick up your own tips and inspiration, but nobody's going to do it like Shelley. It's like,
Yeah,
but
you have
they're-
to have the
yeah,
confidence
to-
that the artistry, yeah, it's just yours alone, and you're a unique person. But the techniques, that's something that you can easily share with people, and then hopefully they'll make their own art with it if they want to work that way too. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's what Helen Kish said. She said,
Yeah.
I hope that my class isn't for anybody to copy me, it's to surpass me and to
Yeah,
figure out
just
their
to
own
do
thing
their own
and to go
expression.
for it.
Yeah, that's what all artists want, is to make their own expressions. And
Absolutely.
you need tools to do that and techniques to do that.
So who is
all
this?
good.
Who
This
is
is
this?
Charlene.
This is Charlene.
Yeah, she was named after a dear dollmaker friend of mine, Charlene Westling, who I became good friends with when I first was in Nevada, and she unfortunately passed away some years ago, and I just felt I wanted to name this doll after her. This is a kind of a...
Your dolls are all named, it seems like named after important people or experiences or things that have a sentimental attachment.
Some of them are, yeah, and
Yeah.
some of them are just names I like.
Just
you
names
know?
you like, yeah.
Just
Like
when
Remy.
when you're naming your baby, you just look through the
Yeah,
books
you
and
just
go,
love a
"Oh,
name."
I love that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
One thing that I notice on your work too is that you have wonderful buttons.
I am in love with buttons, especially old buttons and antiques.
Yeah,
I'm very, very obsessed with buttons.
you're obsessed with
I have
buttons.
a decent collection, but not
I'm
as,
sure.
as good as some people I know. But so yeah, I like again, I like to just put them on dolls so people will go, oh, they're, you know, look at these wonderful buttons. I just want to put them in front of people. I think of my work as collage work, which means I take existing materials and designs. I mean, obviously someone else has designed these patterns and colors and buttons and everything, but I gather them and choose them, and I, you know, design ways to put them together. So it's very much like collage work to me, and collage work is putting beautiful things in front of you so that you can enjoy them in juxtaposition. So I really think of my work
she's
a lot like that.
Absolutely. This doll is a very important doll to you sentimentally. This one, can you tell us about this one's story?
This is Clara, and unfortunately my little brother died in 2001, and when he was sick, I made him this doll. He had always been a really staunch supporter of me and my work, and appreciator and helper, and so I needed to make him a doll to give him strength and comfort. So this is a bed doll. So she's different from the other ones. She has bedhead hair, and all of her clothing is made out of soft, cuddly fabric, and she doesn't have wooden ball joints. She has soft joints. She's all made of cloth or cloth.
So she can be cuddled. She is
Yeah,
marvelous.
so-
Would your brother just be so thrilled with what is going on right now and the fact that you're in a virtual convention?
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Love the bedhead. That is just a beautiful doll.
Yeah, she's a healer too. She's got a crystal.
She's got her
a
healing
real
crystals
crystal
and-
ball in here, and you know, some herbs and stuff in a little sachet in there. So she's a healer as well.
Dolls are very healing for a lot of people in so many ways. They really are.
They really
just-
are. And making dolls is very healing.
Yes,
too,
it
so.
is. So this one is really fun because this one is a very rare doll because she is actually for sale.
Actually for sale. This is Harriet.
Yes.
This is Harriet, and she will be in the virtual sales room at the virtual doll convention.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah, she's a painter, and this doll is a good example of one that was built around one piece of goods, and in this case it was this needlepoint of the Blue Boy, the famous Blue Boy painting that I found at the thrift store.
Oh, wow.
And it was like somebody had completed it, but then they didn't put it on their chair seat or whatever they were making
didn't
it
frame
for.
it.
So it was, yeah, they didn't do anything with it. So,
It's very well
I
done.
bought it and made a little work apron out of it for this
Oh, it's
doll
perfect.
who is a painter, and so she has her most of the accessories I make, I try to make them out of stuffed cloth too. So this is all stuffed cloth with embroidered paint, and then she has a little she
She's
gets
got
her hair
paint
in
in
the
her
way
hair.
of her.
She's
Yeah,
been
so
working.
she's got a little paint in her hair.
She's marvelous.
So this is one of the only pretty monochromatic dolls that I made, but I wanted the needlepoint and the painting to stand out is very different from her clothing. So her clothing's black and white and gray, and then the color is in the
I love her micro mosaic ring.
needlepoint, the ring, and her hair bows.
Look at the hair bows, everybody. Look at the hair. That is some Shelley Thornton hair. Oh, it's marvelous. Shelley, some of them look like upholstery. Have you ever torn apart a rug or a couch?
I actually, here's a cool thing I did. Actually, this piece right here, this base cover here, this was, my neighbor across the street had this old overstuffed chair, and it got so old that it was kind of ratty looking, so she put it out in her yard, and it was in her yard for like 3 years, and she finally was getting rid of it. And I always admired this pattern on the fabric, and so when I heard she was taking it to the dump or whatever, I went over there with my knife and I just like cut
Yes,
out
exactly.
That's
exactly. I couldn't imagine you doing that.
It was outside for so long that it got so
nice and weathered.
This was actually kind of a maroon color, and it faded all the red out of it.
Oh my God.
But I washed
great.
it, and it was still strong, so I thought, yeah, I could use this.
Wow, you saved it.
Yeah, I saved it.
That's wonderful.
So I got a big chunk out of that chair.
That's exactly what I think of though when I see a lot of your work. So I'm glad to know that it is possible.
I tease my friends, and like I would say, oh, I didn't bring my
Yes.
scissors with me. Let me
As
see.
you guys can see, I wore a Shelley Thornton approved skirt today.
Yeah,
special
people see
for our
me with
interview.
Scissors. If people see me with scissors
Yes,
in their hand,
I thought-
they back away.
Well, hey, I thought if she wants to make a doll out of my skirt, then that means that that's a good
you
thing.
made a good choice.
Yeah, I made a good
exactly.
choice.
So these are some of Jody's outfits for the different seasons. You remember Jody over there?
Yep.
Okay, so this is her summer outfit, and of course she has little sandals that are real cute that aren't here at the show. And this is her winter outfit. This with this coat, and there's a matching hat like this mitten fabric here. And then this is her fall outfit with a little fall leaf jacket and this little jumper and underdress there.
It's just
That's her
marvelous.
fall. Yeah.
She has a trousseau, which is very rare. So
Yes, for me it's
For you to do.
Doesn't happen, except for this one time.
Well, Shelley, this is remarkable. We're just going to give a quick pan again so you guys can see. It is such a treat. And now that everyone has seen your work and understands a little bit, we're going to be having a class with you to hear more about what goes through your mind when you're thinking of what you're going to combine and what to do and how to do. And I am so excited about that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're going to talk about. So that'll be fun.
Yes. So your exhibition is on through September.
Yeah, it's September 6th, and anyone a lot of people say, oh, Nebraska, oh, Lincoln, Nebraska. I think I've driven through there. That's what everyone says. And so if you're driving through, stop in and see the exhibit. Yeah, it's on Interstate 80 that goes all across the country. So
Absolutely.
A lot of people
Oh no,
drive
it's a
through.
must-see. It's a must-see, everybody. If you are anywhere close, or if you're not, get on a plane and come over here. I'm staying at a sweet little bed and breakfast. It's only 5 minutes away. It has been such a pleasure, Shelley. Thank you so much, and thank you to the University of Nebraska for setting aside some time for us to have this private tour today.
Yeah, thank you.
It's wonderful. All right. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.